weekend on Fire Route 130. There were 3 accidents on Fire Route 130. 3 vehicles in 1 meter ditches. One involved a propane delivery truck involved in one of the incidents. So please, I ask you, Trent Lake, to assume Fire Route 130 before somebody's killed. I believe we're in serious trouble and we need your help. We all need to act now, soon, not in 5 years. For those interested, I have a 10-minute talk I gave to the road committee with 0 response. So, thank you, everybody, and that's it.
Thank you, Bob, for your perspective.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. That's what we're here for. We want to listen and we can talk. And again, I know that our director of public works is going to take a drive in there. I do believe you are going to be in the truck with him, and I think Jason and myself, I'm going to go for a drive, even though I'm very familiar with that road and watch it be put in. So it's obviously the 142 cottages, and I don't think there's any more vacant lots in there, but there might be 1 or 2, so it could still grow a little bit.
There's a few that could be split, I think.
Yeah.
I was told that they wouldn't be split until the road was assumed by the township, and then there's lots to be split.
I don't know if that's true, because I know one just got split a couple of years ago, so it reconfigured, let's say. There's a lot line adjustment and turned another lot into a buildable lot, so.
I like to tell the contractors, it's 4 good country songs in. That's the length of it. I don't give them the range. I just say, put on your longest country songs, and then when the 4th one's done, you're at our place.
Well, I'm really glad you didn't say it was 2 beer. That's bad enough. Thank you very much for that.
Where is this road? Sorry, I'm
just off Mississauga Dam Road, Mississauga Lake.
So if you go north on County Road 507, you would go east on Mississauga Dam Road, and then you immediately turn kind of southeast again on it's Fire Route 130. It's also called Lou Phillips Drive colloquially, but it's not officially, I don't think so. It's a long meandering road through the forest. It's a beautiful drive, but again, we have to all remember that it's privately maintained. So people are paying to maintain that road. So I don't encourage people to just go in and out of there driving around, because there's 142 cottages that pay to maintain that road both summer and winter. It does traverse mostly on ground land. There's a couple of corners that hit municipal road allowances, I'm sure, but it's a beautiful road. It's well maintained most of the time.
Is the bridge a public bridge or a private bridge?
Private bridge.
It's a private bridge that gets engineer stamped every couple of years.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years, yeah. So it's a very narrow Old Bailey bridge, but it's a heavy duty bridge for that.
Heavy duty bridge. It's a substantial bridge that we paid for as members to put it in there and maintain. And it's
you did it in the right era.
Well, it's a big accomplishment, right? To go from 70 to 142, and it speaks to Trent Lakes as well, right? The fact that we have this, people want to move here like us full time, and it's a big accomplishment. So
just one last point there.
Okay. We're out of time, but we can.
Just one last point. My cottage lot from 2000 to 2026 has cost me $30,000 out of my own pocket just to drive into the cottage. Just throw that in.
Yeah, that's a substantial amount.
30 grand.
Thank you very much for for the information sharing. I appreciate it. Gary, you were next. We're just circling the room now. We're not going to go from back to front to back.
Gary Drosen with the Cavendish Community Ratepayers Association. For people on the Mississauga-Catchacoma Lake chain, which includes Catchacoma, Mississauga, Beaver, McGuinness, Cavendish, and Gold Lake, we are undertaking an abandoned dock initiative. So my purpose today really is more informational, because council's aware of this. We're doing this, we're leading it and working collaboratively and in conjunction with and with the support of the Catchacoma Cottagers Association, Mississauga District Cottagers Association, Beaver, Cavendish, Bottle, McGuinness Cottage Association, Gold Lake, Curve Lake First Nation, Ministry of Natural Resources, Ministry of the Environment, Climate Change and Parks, Kawartha Highlands Signature Site Park. We have support from Trent Lakes. The intent is to take all of the abandoned and dilapidated docks that are in the back bays and around the first bridge and the second bridge and dispose of them. It's something that's been accumulating over the last number of years. We as an organization have been talking to all the cottage and lake associations about it over the last 4 or 5 years. We started planning a lot last year. We now have a plan which we'll be executing this year. Purpose today is to reach out to the road associations, which we have kept them kind of up to date, but we're reaching out to them because we're looking for them to participate. Their goal is, as an association, obviously very defined to the road, but obviously this impacts them. So Gold Lake Road, Raddy's Narrows, and Fire Route 130, Blue Phillips, Mississauga, Gold Lake Road. So we want you to be aware of that. We're going to be looking for an army of volunteers. Time-wise, right now, ice is out. We've been photographing, measuring, and pinning on Google Maps docks for the last few years. We have about 30 identified. We think there's probably in the area of 40 to 45. So now that ice is out, people are going to go out who are on our team to start photographing, measuring, and pinning them on Google Maps. Based on where they're located, we'll determine takeout locations. We're going to get heavy equipment. We're working with the township on reduced tipping fees, etc. But we're going to need people to volunteer to drag these things from where they are to the takeout locations. So if you're not thinking about anything to do in the June, July timeframe, you may want to spend a weekend helping us out. We are going to be going to these associations looking for support in terms of volunteers. So just wanted to make you aware of it, and if you could pass it along. We're also hoping that from our project plan, we will have a template that we can then provide to other lakes and other lake chains who can use a similar project plan to do it. We've already got some interest from Crystal Lake that they want to do something similar. So we're going to pass on all of our project plan and information over to them. Thank you for your time, and thank you to council for coming in on a Saturday morning.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. Anyone have any conversation about that?
Mr. Captain, go ahead. Do we have a spot in Ketchcoma where we're gathering the dogs? Is it going to be the marina?
We are going to base the takeout locations on where they're all located because it takes a long time to tow a dock. So right now, if you look at the potential sites, it's, Ketchcoma Marina, Little Gull, First Bridge, Second Bridge, Mississauga Dam. But based on where they are, we're going to try to narrow it down to three takeout locations.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just wondering if any thought, I know we've been talking with you about this, Gary, for a while, but if any thought has been given to how to prevent it in the first place? I mean, to share all this with other lakes is just going to end up costing more money, and a lot of us take our docks out when they've gone bad, and we do it ourselves. And you don't want to encourage people just to let their docks go down to the other end of the lake because they know it's going to be cleaned up by somebody else. That's not right either, and you'd hate to almost tell everyone about it because everyone will go, well, I can just let it flow down and, not worry about it. Somebody else plan it for me. How do we be proactive and prevent it in the first place? Is there any solution to that anyone can think of?
Gary and I were discussing putting a nameplate,
Education.
a 3M nameplate actually on the dock. To instill some type of ownership, the 3M reflective with if it did get away, then maybe you might be able to see it if it was a floater, right?
Like, how do you ensure people will do that? Like,
Well,
is that
I don't think you do. I think what you have to do is educate people that if you're going to build a new dock, please dispose of the old dock.
Yeah.
And most of the people that are building new docks now are interested in not letting them be abandoned. So they're going to take your dock and dismantle it and at some cost to you, obviously, if it's your abandoned dock, they want to tear it apart and you can use some of the material out of it to do other things, but you just can't cast it away and hope it goes away and disappears. And that's the whole educational aspect of this.
If I might, through you, Mayor. So we actually have created an educational piece, which we did publish in the 507 Express, and part of, you'll start to see it come out more. Rachel Stark is going to be putting it out on the Trent Lakes social media, event pages, etc. We base that on some research we did on another lake that did an abandoned dock initiative. It's also important to note that the Ministry of Natural Resources can fine somebody for abandoning a dock. So if you see someone abandoning a dock and it's really bothersome to you, all you have to do is report it to the MNR, because we've been working with the enforcement officer and they will fine those people, because you cannot abandon a dock on Crown land. So that's number two. And then number three is the dock builders we've been working with over the last number of years, and they're very much attuned to the fact that you cannot simply drag it into a back bay to get rid of it. So we've worked with some of the dock builders. We actually found a motocross association up in Gooderham who've been taking a lot of the docks. But at the same time, when these guys are building dock for people, they're saying, you either have to sell your dock or you have to pay me to take it out of the water. So he's letting people know that they could get fined for abandoning it. So there's a number of
the
things.
education process too, like to
Yeah.
tell them they're gonna be fined. That's good.
Exactly, yeah, so that's what we're doing. So you'll see a lot more of that come out over the next couple of months. But thanks for
And that's
bringing
what we
that up.
hope, is it prevents people from just dragging it into a back bay and letting it drift away. If you go to Mississauga Dam right now, there's 3 large pieces of docks. They're stuck in the barrier there in front of the Mississauga Dam. There was 2 last week, and now there's 3. So, and they're eventually gonna work their way under that barrier and go down Mississauga River and smash all the pieces, and all the pressure treated wood, the plastic and styrofoam is all gonna be spread down the river. So I'm gonna go and take them 3 pieces of them, drag them to shore and chain them to the shore until we get going on this initiative, or take them out myself. It's a problem, and it's a problem in many of our lakes and rivers. So it's something, this is gonna give us a roadmap to the future. I think this is a great idea that we can build on and help all of our lakes get a little more healthy, because, you know, as you see all the little muskrat, they go in and eat the styrofoam pieces and they all float away. Well, they don't just disappear, they float away and then they degenerate and they go into our lakes. We don't want to spoil them, because we have some beautiful deep water trout lakes that we need to protect. It's just one step. Thank you for that. Okay, next question. Who would like to have some next question? Thank you, good. Thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Also,
State-
Peter Fletcher, we've had a place up here since the 80s. We were outside of Canada for 33 years, moved back 2012 for the weather and tax, and I know which is worse. Anyway, where I'd like to go first, environmental impacts studies presented for minor variances or ZBAs, zone law adjustments, do they impact approval? Is my first question. If they do, as the environmental committee, do they review these? I do bring this up because we had one go through near our property, and nothing was followed that the environment said, including blasting. So I researched blasting a lot, and I think this should be covered by municipality. I'll be presenting a motion for that. It is covered by natural resources, but only properties on either side should be notified. And what I learned out there, somebody blasts near you and you do not check your building first, do not check your well or septic. If there's any problems, you have no right of recourse after that. Next thing comes to the septics. I haven't heard much. I was researching a lot when it was run by Peterborough Council. When we did renovations years ago, municipality made us put a holding tank, a pumping station and stuff. It doesn't seem to be the requirement these days. You don't want a situation like that at Curd Lake where, you know, their whole water table is destroyed. And one thing we have up here is water. So I'd like to know how we're doing on the septic stuff. And the gentleman mentioned fire here. I sent to John Braybrook, who answered the same day, February 12th, 2025. Just analysis. I do international investing. I have access to a lot of research. It showed fire danger for municipalities. I got the report here, and it had North Kawartha on there. At the time, John sent back an email that day, said, look, you're working with Curve Lake. I'd like to know what fire prevention is put in place. And I do this on the context that in the next 15, 20 years, extreme weather will take over everything. It is occurring, it is happening. I don't mention climate change because people go off on various tangents, but it is occurring. You think this weather's bad, it's gonna get a lot worse, and I'm just gonna have to prepare. So anyway, that's my summation.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. I can speak kind of to the septic stuff. Our staff are looking after every septic permit, every addition, every application now, because it has to go into the building department. We capture every one of them. So sometimes when it was through Peterborough Public Health, you could just go there and get a septic permit without showing what you're building. So sometimes the septics weren't designed for the building you built. So it caused some issues. So now it goes through Trent Lake staff, and they're all very well educated in that field, and they know what they're doing. They make sure your septic is designed for the drawings that you submitted. So
That's not the problem. The problem is the ones that haven't been touched in 20 years. How do you check those?
Well, there was a septic reinspection program. We were doing 300 a year. We can't make that decision here today, but that's probably going to continue in the future. It's just we had a few years off of doing that for various reasons. And, we have a pretty significant staffing level in that department, so maybe there's opportunity to do something more in the future, and I think we have to. So I forget how many we've done. I apologize for not having that number at the tip of my tongue. I know we did it for 5 or 6 years. Carol, I think you might-
Yeah, we did it for 7 years.
Yeah.
And we expected
Certify
300.
them every 10 years, isn't that the latest?
No, for 7 years, we had Peterborough Public Health look at 300 systems. And we chose a particular area every year so that we could get to all the lakes. It was discontinued when PPH pulled out of that as a business. We took it on here. We weren't able to continue the discretionary until we got our staff up to speed and had capacity. We looked at restarting it this year, but instead deferred, partly because we're going to be proactively enforcing our short-term rental bylaw. And with that, we look at and inspect every septic system for the short-term rentals. So we decided that was a fine target for this year. We'll still do discretionary, but the focus this year will be short-term rentals. And then we'll look at it again next year. So over the years, probably over 2,000 septic systems have been inspected. And we had about a 10% failure rate. So it was a very successful program.
And with every building permit and every addition and things, the septic gets inspected. So they know the size of the bed, the size of the tank, so it matches what you have done or are going to do. So, and they've made people upgrade. I shouldn't say make, they've suggested people upgrade. And if you don't want to upgrade, you don't get your addition or anything. So it's working well, I think. I mean, had some good answers from people, from contractors that, the septic was actually failing. They didn't know. And now it's a new septic. So it's working. It's slow. It's going to be a long time getting to everybody, but we've already did 2,100 or so. So like what we have down in my answer, the 6,800 cottages and houses in this municipality. So we're getting through them. It's slow and it's expensive. So it's not an inexpensive venture, but we are getting through it. So, and we have concentrated on some areas that were more important for the water. So we're moving through that. Go ahead, Councilor Bear.
Through you, Eric. Nice to see you, Peter.
Yeah, finally.
It's always been over the phone. Yeah, if any concerns about the dilapidated cottages and whatnot, I've had many constituents call me. I would go ahead and look at it, and then I would report that back to the building department, and then they would schedule an inspection and then give them notice, because one of them was inoperable, but they were still using the cottage. So
Okay, thanks on that. I come back to the environmental impact studies that presented.
Yes.
Is there an impact or not? Because nothing was followed on property built near us.
That's very unusual, because there is usually some aspects of that are watched and tracked by your planning department, especially if there's a site plan agreement on it, which the environmental impact studies usually have a set of mitigating measures that have to actually be followed. And our inspectors normally would say, like, if you needed to put a silt fence up at the waterfront, that has to be in before you can start construction. That's just one aspect
Well, it
of it.
said no blasting environmental, and they blasted.
Yeah, well, that's the issue, that there's some other levels of government that govern that. Trent Lakes doesn't govern blasting. It's part of the provincial legislation. So if that person's registered and that legally can have dynamite, it doesn't come back to Trent Lakes, right? It just goes to the next level.
Well, it upset a lot of residents.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, I mean,
Way away. It wasn't nearby. It was far away too.
Yeah. well, just as on my own curiosity, what area?
Just where the Bald Lake narrows.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Just check and see who was blasting me. I don't know. Yeah, thank you for bringing that to us. We kind of rely on our staff to govern those things, especially when it is in our control, that's why sometimes you'll have if it's a very complicated application, there's site plan control put on it by our planning department, and then our building department gets to make sure that gets done. And it's quite often incremental steps. It has to have this silt fencing done first and all that, but blasting is a little bit of a different animal. It's not so much municipally controlled. And we're not allowed to have a bylaw that contravenes a provincial bylaw, so.
You can take it over.
I don't know that we can,
You can.
yeah, and so it's something that we looked into, that's,
Got my legal counsel. They've already come back.
yeah, there you go. Well, thank you for that update, I appreciate that, because, those are things that, if it's affecting all your neighbors, we need to be looking at it, so there's many things, that's why we have a short-term rental situation. We've gone many steps forward on that, and it's working. I think there's 65 registered short-term rentals or something. I think it was last month ago, 65 or 67. So it's working. So those people have good septics and good water.
I know I'm probably out of time, but just come back to the gentleman, the fireworks.
Yes.
We're gonna have a very hot summer this year. And I fought fires when I was young, and it's not fun.
I think you're preaching to the choir. There's two of us that have done a lot of firefighting, and there's three, because it's not an easy thing. Our summers are hot. Like you look at last summer, my goodness. It's one spark could have burnt Trent Lakes. We have to be careful and look after your neighbors, make sure your houses are protected around with a bit of barrier. That information was on our website, so how you can kind of protect a few stages of your area, keep your grass cut, keep it green. Don't have a bunch of rubble around your house, because if it catches on fire, your house is gone. There's no way you can get it put out in time. Because when we have a big fire, staff is going to be limited that can get to you, right? So
Such a happy conversation.
pre-plan. No, if you pre-plan, I mean, there's things you can do to really protect yourself. And thanks for bringing that to our attention. We'll make sure we talk with our chief and have some good conversations. Appreciate it.
Thanks for
Just
coming
state
in.
your name just so we all know.
Janet Klein, and thank you for coming in on a Saturday. And personally, I want to say too, you're all very approachable. As this gentleman said, emails get answered quickly, whether it's an email that I agree with you or I don't agree with you. It's wonderful. Yeah, you guys are always very approachable. I had a couple of things I wanted to say. First of all, I was talking about the flooding. Another thing about education is to encourage people to tie things off. I know we lost our picnic table last year, so we tied it off this year, but just now that the weather's changing, we're getting more flooding, like that would be part of the education to tie things down. I had a question about staff, whether we try to buy all Canadian. And if we do, promote it. Like, I think it would be a really nice thing to promote to the residents that you do all you can for supplies and what have you to buy from Canadian companies. That was kind of one thing I was thinking of. Thank you for the organics at the transfer station. I hardly have any garbage. I went in the other day and I took my new card in, and my old one had so many left. I said, hey, we should have a draw. And she said, that's a really good idea. Like something to promote, because she said hardly anyone now brings in garbage. And it would be really nice if we knew the stats. I know that they're in a lot of reports, but just a diversion, like it would be nice to post it at the transfer station so that residents would know how much garbage are we, diverting. I think that would be really encouraging.
We are having a little bit of trouble with the changes in all of that, getting all the numbers, but I think our staff, Matt Wingetts, is looking into that, and we're trying to get all the numbers. We used to get all the numbers for diversion, and we were at 61%.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, we don't get the numbers now.
Oh.
Because of the transition from.
Because of the recycling.
We're hoping to get over those numbers, and I think Matt's really working hard on it. It would be nice to know.
Well, if you do, it'd be nice to post it, because it's fine when it's buried in a report. But a lot of people have said to me, are we diverting? Do we still send them the garbage? It would just be nice to see when people come in. I think it would be kind of
Yeah,
encouraging.
and I agree. And honestly, like many of our audits, it was over 20% of our garbage was source separated organics that could have went somewhere else.
Yeah.
And turned into topsoil and used in your garden. So
Right,
hopefully that drops. Hopefully that drops drastically. And that's one of the reasons that this council decided to help put organics facilities in all our transfer stations.
and I remember hearing that at a council meeting, but people,
Yeah.
you know, seasonal people, they're
Yeah,
not
it's a
going
good
to
thing,
know
good
that.
thing. Maybe we'll get Rachel, put another blurb out on all our colleges association, road
Yeah.
associations, and, you know, please keep doing it because
But
really,
it's working.
there was yeah, it's working. People are taking less garbage to the garbage that could be
Absolutely.
recycled. So,
No, it's,
great point, Janet.
no,
Thank
that
you.
was great. I was thinking of your winding roads too, and I was just thinking of perlator and deliveries and such. And I was at the post office the other day, and you know, only a very small number of people use flex delivery, and I use it a lot because I don't want the courier coming down there in the wintertime. So any courier will drop at the post office, so something for you to consider. I know a lot of seasonal people use it because they're not at home, but any courier will deliver at the post office, so you can just pick it up there. Because I was just thinking, well, those curvy roads, and maybe they hesitate to go down, especially in the wintertime, but it's free and yeah, and you can just pick it up at the post office.
I think that kind of speaks to one of Bob's comments, that they don't hesitate to go down that road. They end up off the road and stop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I guess it's Amazon, and Amazon has divested their liability by using a company called Dragonfly,
yeah.
Apple Express, et cetera. And they will not, the post office will not accept the courier. They feel they're in direct competition. So I would prefer just to go to the post office. Post office says no.
They won't accept Dragonfly?
No.
Oh,
No, they
interesting.
don't.
They don't have the room. I've been in there where there's boxes in front of their desks.
Oh, interesting. Because in Bob Cajun, they were saying they don't get very many people using
But you
it.
can go, you can have a drop location such as Bob Cajun Esso.
Right, the Esso station, yeah. they
Yeah.
have.
That's-
It was just, I don't have any vested interest in the post office.
No, that's all good. No, it's just, those are ideas you share amongst yourself
Yeah.
and council. And you can put them on our website. Get ahold of Rachel. If you have ideas like that, we aren't afraid to put it on our website. So.
Yeah, no, and I did contact her about
Yep.
people pushing back about the fire date. People don't understand, and people don't understand, they don't want to follow the rule. So if you could just put out there why we have a fire ban, you know, I think it would help, because nowadays people just, they don't want to do it anymore unless they know. Unfortunately, they just don't want to follow it because the municipality said it. So it's important to let them know, I think, why,
Yeah,
you know, that
that's-
it's not you guys, like, you know, it's just, it's a rule either through the M&R or fire department or
And I think you reach out to Susan Jacket.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So
hopefully.
hopefully they'll put something on our
put an
website.
alert.
I'm sure we'll be watching for that and make sure that does happen because, you know,
Communication.
knowledge is power. If we
Yeah.
know, everybody knows, you talk to your neighbors and get a burn permit, follow the rules on the burn permit. It's a fairly
Yeah.
long document, but read it once or twice and just make sure you're following it.
Nor do I.
No, I had one more thing.
Okay,
I
sorry.
didn't know I don't know if this is possible, but because I live on Nogi Street, Bass Lake, we don't have like an organization. And I didn't know if there's any way the municipality would be willing to put up an information board. They have them like in Alpine Village and Pirates Glen. It just, I know,
Yeah.
just something, I didn't know if you could do that, just because we do have a lot right by the mailboxes.
Mhm.
I didn't know if that's something you've ever been asked for, anything you've ever done. It would just kind of bring the community together a little bit more, because it is a long road and we have no
There's a lot of,
cottage associations or
Yeah.
anything, so anyway.
it's time you organize one.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. You
You
set
have
up a
a-
volunteer
Perfect job for
organization,
you.
Janet,
Yeah.
and do it.
Well, it
You
is
can't,
your point,
you can't
right?
expect other people to do stuff for you. You gotta
Yeah.
volunteer
Well, I
and
just want them to
invest
put
the
the
time.
board up. They don't have to have the organization.
Put a little toll at the start of Bass Lake Road and you'll get enough
They'll
money.
finance the whole thing.
And they get it built, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm done.
Thank you, Janet.
I just wanted to add on to one of your
Oh, yeah.
points about the fire ban, something I saw last summer, and I didn't know who to contact about it. I was going down the 507 during the extreme fire ban,
Mhm.
and there was construction workers working, and the guy that had the stop sign in front of me was smoking a cigarette, and he turned it and flicked it. And I was horrified. And I got out and I said to him, oh my God, like, you
Yeah.
can't do that, do you not understand? And, you know, and who do you talk to about that? Because that was terrifying.
That is terrifying. I can tell you a quick story that my daughter put out a fire on the side of the 507 for the exact same reason. She stopped and went back and because she seen the person flick it out of their car. She just had, went right into that long dead grass. She went back and put the fire out. It started a fire in 30 seconds. It was on fire.
Yeah.
And so it happens and put it out in your ashtray, put some water on it. I don't know. But I mean,
This was someone
maybe that's
doing the
more
road.
education. I think the ministry of Natural Resources actually put some signage up somewhere. I've seen it. So maybe we'll get a hold of them and do some more signage on that. So.
Okay.
Well, there's the
Appreciate
beginning
it.
of every road, like honestly, when you come in, fire, fan.
Yeah.
I think it's just contacting the company, as Jerry said. Just contact the company that he's working for. I mean, that's an immediate response.
Is that who is it if it's doing?
Well,
507?
whoever.
You'll
It's
see
not
the
any
truck.
one
Yeah.
company, it's.
It could be contracted, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and if it's a county employee, we want to make sure we know about that.
Right.
Because we'll make sure that doesn't happen. That's dangerous and it's especially during a fire ban, it's so easy to spark a fire
Mhm.
that could burn a lot of places and things. We don't want that. Thank you. Okay, next question. Go ahead, Peter. Oh, you already had your 5 minutes. You can comment on another comment, but we don't give you another 5 minutes.
It was a different.
Go ahead, Peter.
Just a question regarding the new Buckhorn Fire Hall. Do you know if that's going to be a manned or still run on volunteer?
Well, we'll get to that, but you've had your 5 minutes, so we're gonna give this gentleman 5 minutes. Go ahead, Peter.
Okay, I know each of the municipal halls have
Who are you?
generators now.
Who are you? Yeah, we need you just to introduce yourself. Yeah.
Peter Raymond. This is related to climate and it would be good if in the master plan for emergency that you have cooling centres as well as heating centres, and if there's hydro outages, allow people to come into the community centres for that period to help. Because as the gentleman said, the climate's changing rapidly.
And that, Peter, I think we're addressing slowly, and I know it is slowly. We've now got standby generators at Lakehurst Hall and one's going in at the Galway Hall. So community centers will be able to be powered up.
And the Buckhorn Community Centre
Buckhorn
has one
Community
as well.
Absolute asset last year and the ice storm, there was people going there. And even during heat, you need to go get cooled down. Go to one of our community centers because they're gonna have hydro and power, so. It's,
The other question I had, and you might have to contact this company called Bell Canada.
yeah.
They're in the process of implementing fibre across whole of Peterborough County, but specifically Trent Lakes. They're in different areas. They were supposed to get it done by the end of last December, but they had a quarrel with the CRTC and it's got protracted a little bit. But it would be good to get an update from them on where things stand in Trent Lakes. As an example, I'm a director at the BCC. Fibre's not available there, but next door, Granite Ridge or Wellington Street and it's available. Very strange.
Yeah.
So we have to go with Explore 5G service. And there's a lot of small home businesses that rely on the internet, and 5G and broadband services are essential these days. So if staff, you can arrange with staff to get Bell to come in and give us status, that would be really good.
Well, we're gonna do that because at the county level, we've got the odd report back from EORN, like the Eastern Region Ontario Network people, and there is some stats, and some of Trent Lakes is in that, so maybe we'll get them to come and present here, and we can have that at one of our council meetings, and then we can share all that information. It's unbelievable that you have to GPS locate a hydro pole 4 or 5 or 10 different times. Like every single one of our hydro poles have been GPS located by 3 or 4 different companies multiple times, to try and figure out how long the piece of wire is you gotta buy. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. We ran through, what, $480 million, and we've got 1/10 of our municipality and our county done. It should be finished with all that money, but there's a lot of background. They want to make sure that they don't buy a piece of wire or make a piece of wire that's only 400 meters long when it has to be 402. So there's a lot of steps that go into that. And they are working in our municipality. They're covering some areas slowly, and they're putting up towers for other methods of communication. So I think we've just had 2 activated Trent Lakes.
Remnants from the ice storm. There are still many branches, trees dangling over township roads, and I know they're on hydro lines as well as phone lines. But is there a plan to get them removed before somebody sues the township or causes an accident?
Yeah, I think they're working at the rest of it slowly. I mean, they've got most of the stuff off. There's a few township roads that aren't even cleared yet, honestly. They're still, all this brush and stuff's in the ditch, and they're working through that. It's time, but now every time you get another weather event, more trees hang over because they're already damaged. So, you know, it's just an ongoing.
Or maybe the residents can send in photos.
Sure, absolutely. Communicate, send us, I mean, our roads department staff are pretty darn good at that. If you get information to them, they send the crew out there that are going in that general direction anyway. They don't want to send people out just for a couple of trees, but if they're going in that direction anyway, they'll make sure the chipper goes and some staff with chainsaws get the tree out of the way. So just reach out, make sure you know. If we don't know, we can't fix it.
Yeah.
Okay, Councilor Beaver.
Yeah, just ironically enough, Peter, yesterday I had 2 phone calls just about that. And all I get the constituents to do is send me an email, and all I do is forward it on to the department, and they get right back to them, and they put them on their work order, and it gets done. So I think it's up to a lot of the constituents as well. If they identify something, contact your counselor, your respective counselor. And that's where we will take it from there, and then ensure that gets done. And I like having them send me an email, and I can just forward it, and then our staff knows that I'm in the loop, and I'll follow up on it if there has been any action in an appropriate amount of time. So
I shouldn't even say this. And if I find one, I just cut it off. I have a chainsaw in my truck all the time now. It's just, there's so many. It's just, and people just are so tired of dragging brush and burning brush. And it is still a problem. And there's so many of our birch trees are damaged, or poplar trees, that they're just going to start falling over the roads again. So it is a problem. We know it. We address it 2 or 3 trees at a time, unfortunately. So just let us know where they are, and we'll try to get people out to fix them. Don't call me. No. We try our very best. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I do have a question on his internet.
Sure, go ahead.
It's kind of a different topic, but
Well, we're gonna start your 5 minutes right now.
there's a tower being installed at Crystal Lake Transfer Station.
Yep.
Is there a completion date for that?
They usually go fast once they start, but it takes forever to get started. But once they start, they usually go very fast.
Okay.
And there is a completion date on that. I can't
And I
visualize that right
assume
now.
it's Rogers, is that right?
Yeah, I think Rogers is building all of them.
Yeah.
And then they'll share anybody that wants to put stuff on there. They can share in between all the companies. That's one of the things that Peterborough Council and County Council and the EORN made sure that when we're all paying for a tower, everybody should be able to use the tower, and they can. So hopefully that works. I know there's been a couple towers built and then leased to some other company. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. That's just my own personal information. I know, what the heck? We're all paying to build the tower, and then it gets leased to a company. Well, as long as they can still let Rogers and Bell and everybody, I was gonna name a bunch of names, I shouldn't name any, but it's just, everyone gets to use the towers. I don't have a completion date for that one, but the 2 on the 507, I think they're complete and activated. One started this spring and it's already done, and the other started last fall and it's done. So they're getting through them. There's a lot more to do on our whole area, but the few that are going up in Trent Lakes are going up fairly fast once they start.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No, I think that's it.
Perfect.
I have a comment on Peter's first comment about the cooling and the heating areas at the community centers. All of our community centers are run by volunteers, and there's a lot of elderly volunteers. So that it's limited to what they can do when we have a natural disaster, because they have to deal with whatever's happening on their properties first, and then pop over to the community center.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, it is a definite challenge, and honestly, a lot of those people are there to get cool, or warm. And that's the thing, you have to concentrate on your own property first, because if you have no hydro and it's -35, you either need a backup generator, you need to start a generator, you have to go get fuel, there's a lot of things that involved with it, so.
Is the municipal office open for any of those, for cooling?
That's a good question, I think there's. Is this your last day as a CIO, or is that, was that Friday? Go ahead.
Yeah, we aren't a cooling center per se. We're here Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. We certainly have people come use the internet, that type of thing, but we're not a designated cooling center, but we would never stop someone from popping in during those hours.
And I think as our community centers upgrade and get generators, I think to be able to go and charge your phone. I mean, sometimes that's important. It's your only method of communication. It's just, so we have to be able to let people charge.
And those
phones.
community halls are kind of the other end of Trent Lakes, like, you don't have much at this end, so.
I could comment.
Yeah, go ahead, sure.
I know it's on Trent Lakes, but Bob Cajun Legion is setting up to be
Which is closer for this end, okay, that's good.
like
That's
a
good to know.
cooling, like they're putting a generator.
Yeah.
The plant, well, they got some help from the municipality support.
So it's the Lions Club,
No, Legion.
the Lions Club is too.
Oh, got it. Okay.
They're
Yeah, it's
a
nice.
generator now.
Yeah, well, that's,
For emergency
Yeah,
cases.
well, that's good to
And
know.
again, it's all volunteers too, but.
and that's stuff we should be sharing between each other. Like, I've been trying kind of to meet with City of Ward Lakes Council, but it's just, we're all so busy. It's just, it's difficult. Like Doug and I have had several conversations, but why don't we get together? And, we just can never get a date where we can get together and have a chat.
They've been working on it for a long time,
Yeah.
I know, and it's very expensive, like thousands of dollars to put a generator for the capacity of that
Yeah.
building, and,
It's $129,682.50 to put one in at the Galway Hall, something like that.
They,
And that's a small community center in the middle of a, beautiful wooded area.
they did get some grant money to
Yeah.
help them though, so.
Did we get grant money? I think we got grant money for one of them, some grant money. Yeah, the Lakers Hall. Yeah, we got some grant money to help with that one. But those grants are few and far between, and we're scratching and digging for every one of them. And that's an important thing. Our staff looks for grants as well, and we're pretty darn good at getting grants. So an important aspect of running a municipality is whatever grant money you can get. I certainly have the ear of our MPP Smith. He takes things, every ministry you get to talk to says, oh my goodness, he's the squeaky wheel. You have the squeaky wheel. He talks to us all the time about, all of Peterborough County. So it's good to know that he has our back a little bit and communicates with every minister about problems we have in Trent Lakes. And if we don't know it's a problem, we can't fix it. So let us know what's working and what's not working. So, very good. Now I think we ate up 7 or 8 minutes on one small question. Anyone else have a question or a comment?
Can I ask one more?
Well, we're
Oh, wait,
we're gonna get
oh,
through
yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
We're trying to,
Okay.
I don't even know what time it is.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Kathy Lee from
Kathy.
Crystal Lake,
Oh,
and thank you for having this meeting now rather than later in the summer. I'm sure you know why I'm here.
yeah, I think,
And I just want maybe some verification, or I'm sure it's going to be discussed at council. According to Christine, Rickman has spoken on the conditions of West Clear Day and East Clear Day Road. Many emails have gone out, and I'm sure these people in the front row will not appreciate me complaining on a public road when they are trying to get yours made into a public road. But that's where we're at, okay? So I'm just kind of going through a few things that she stated. So she is under the understanding that there's going to be some budget money now found to resurface Hardtop East Clear Bay Road. So.
yep, that was the email chain that I was included on.
Okay,
It's
so
a-
that still has to go to council.
No,
Oh, that's.
no, that's part of our operating budget for this year, if there's surpluses, which it looks like there's going to be.
Okay,
So that just happens automatically through the roads department. If there's a bit of surplus in a few areas, which it looks like there is, so then they can go ahead and do that road.
okay.
The other roads, it takes time, right?
So is that something that people have to pursue each year with council to see if there's extra money?
No, I think that road was on our list of things to do. I think we have a 10-year plan, and that was on the list, but I don't think it was on the list for this year, but
No.
I think that's why it's getting, I'm fingers crossed, hoping it gets done, so.
Okay, that's fine
Yeah.
for East Clear Bay.
Yeah.
Fine for East Clear Bay. So, the other thing is, I'm just kind of going through this, because I have, promoted for this to be done for years on both sides. And our side was really bad, West Clear Bay, I would say 2020, like in those years before they did the resurfacing on in 2023.
Yes.
And that was because we had many new builds going up and down, trucks, construction, the great big ones, and it was a mess. And it was in the same condition as what East Clear Bay is dealing with right now. So anyway, they did solve that by saying they would resurface both East Clear Bay and West Clear Bay, top to bottom, which they did in 2023. And it's going to be on a 5-year plan. So we're due again for next year. So my concern is if you're going to put blacktop or whatever the right name for it is on East Clear Bay, are we still going to get that done, that resurfacing done for? I'm not talking about the.
No, your micro
hard
surf.
top.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
talking about the resurfacing of.
that road will be in a program, so it just will happen. It'll be in the budget every year for micro surfing. I think if you look at our budget, there's a whole bunch of roads that get micro surfaced, and it'll be in a rotating basis. They know it needs to be done, so it'll get done again.
So 2027 will be top to bottom.
I would
With
assume, I'm not gonna
gravel.
speak for Evan, but I would assume that's in the rotation. Because you have to keep doing it, or it's no sense doing it in the first place. Because once you do it, you have to keep micro surfacing every once
Well,
in a
when
while.
it does get done, it lasts 2 summers.
Yeah, which,
So now we're,
back to,
we have to wait
Yeah.
3 with
3 more
potholes
summers of,
and very bad grading schedule. But anyway, okay, so that we're assured of. And he said we were, and to get to this, we weren't on the schedule for blacktop over on East Clear Bay. Because they did do a study and said we
Was
did
not enough
not
traffic,
have enough traffic.
I remember reading
So
that,
all of a sudden, things have changed. But anyway, that doesn't matter. And I want to know why what the cutoff is, 200 or what does that mean? Anyway, this past fall, we had a dry summer. No grading needed to be done. There should have been a lot of money saved from not grading. Comes the fall, you have moose hunting season, you have deer hunting season in there in the fall. Our roads were a mess in there in November. They finally came in maybe the last week of November. Rain, they graded, potholes. Then December 1st, snow comes. And now we have spring. Like everything got no potholes over the winter because they're all filled in.
full of ice and snow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now we come to the spring. It's been the late spring, I understand that. And there were many complaints and pictures sent in about what East Clear Bay was like.
Mhm.
Ours wasn't quite as bad, but as the time went on, was getting close. So, they come in on a Thursday, knowing full well that we're gonna have a lot of rain over the weekend.
Mhm.
and they grade part of East Clear Bay. And it was spot grading.
Yeah.
Spot here,
Yeah, we're
dump a little bit of gravel, go a little bit further, and they only got, I'd say, I don't know, if it was a half kilometer, then stop. They don't work Friday. So that whole work was for naught.
Mhm.
I just want to know whether the township, like the works department, has a plan for each day or each season of how many times they're going to come into Clear Bay. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just such a waste of money.
Yeah,
Such a waste
I
of
do
money.
understand that. I see that on many roads.
Just listen to the weather. Like, the much as we were complaining, it doesn't mean if the weather's not going to cooperate for that to be done, we can wait
Yeah,
till
wait
next
till
week.
Monday.
We've waited
Yeah.
a whole
Yeah.
bunch of time. And then I didn't like the bit that was written.
You're running out of time.
I know, but I think this is important, that it was almost like a threat. Because where is that? That makes me, it was to do with some road upgrade policy, and it's from the ministry, that in some places, like for these people, if you did go and do their roads for them, that they would get extra money charged on their tax bill. And that's right in here. I can find it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. There has been.
So that's a threat.
I don't know that it's a threat. I think it's a method of financing it.
I'm gonna shut my mouth.
Well, no, it's a method of financing it. I think that wasn't really a threat. It was a method of financing it. But, again, there's a whole bunch of criteria that has to go along with that. It has to be a municipal road, on municipal road. It has to be on municipal property. There's a whole bunch of other ideas there. So there's, I don't think that was meant as a threat. That was just meant as a one aspect of how you can go about this stuff. So if you had 20 people on a road and you wanted the municipal, and it's on a municipal road allowance, and you've been maintaining it, if you want it done, the municipality theoretically could do it, and then back charge for the cost of it to each homeowner over a 20-year period, a 5-year period, whatever you want to do. But that's for
But
that.
that would deter some people
Okay.
from asking for it. Yes.
Okay.
Well, just.
Oh, one more? You're 7 and 9 minutes into your 5
I
minutes.
know, but,
I'll give her my 5.
Okay, you're gonna give her your. Thank you.
I just don't know.
What's your name? We're gonna.
I just want to know for down the road how, all of a sudden we can get East Clear Bay done out of the blue. And, so for us down the road, when we want to pursue, well, we've been pursuing it for
years.
many
Yeah,
years. Say next year, would you do West Clear Bay Road?
Again, that's a decision of the Director of Public Works. I mean, there is a plan that we go through every year, and he puts it on a budget. And I don't know if you've seen the list, but the list of resurfacing and servicing of roads, it's quite long every year, so.
Yeah, but we're never on it.
Well, let's hope that sometime in the future you
We're
are.
never on it.
Yeah, there's several roads that are very much in the same position you're in. I live on one of them.
And I don't know if this was a coincidence, but we always complain that it's not great gravel that you put down, or you call it gravel.
You got a sample?
Well, at where the blacktop and the, road surface, whatever, your gravel, but there's always, potholes there, horrendous ones. So this past time when they came in, they didn't do it on any other part of the road, it's not unless it was down there where Kevin was, they might have dumped a bit of it. But this is what those roads came in.
Looks like ammunition. Yeah, I see. That's not really.
And where that was taking place, the potholes, it was mainly just on the one side. The potholes are still over on the other
Yeah,
side.
they,
so
they
you
wouldn't
still
use
have
that
to
for
go back.
potholes normally. That's kind of
Well, yeah, right.
erosion mitigation.
But, so I don't know if this was in spite.
Oh, I don't think so.
And
I
then
hope
they-
not.
they
I
must
hope
have
you
had
put that back.
No, our staff. Put that on your.
Fill that pothole back.
No, Kathy, I appreciate that. That might be some sort of form of erosion mitigation.
There is a half a kilometer.
Oh.
Yeah,
Some of them have points on them.
Yeah,
Over your tire.
yeah.
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 And it's right, it still slows you down. It's like,
Okay. Well, that's a good conversation we'll have with our Director of Public Works and make sure that we don't
And the
be
last-
spreading 2 minus on the middle of the road.
and the last time I was here, we were to sign our name. I don't know if it was this kind of a meeting, a ratepayers or something else, but anyway, we were,
Yeah. Yeah.
discussed. And we were to sign our name and
Mhm.
then people would get that. So
Yeah.
I obviously signed my name for Evan.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll try our best. I think we've got a lady behind you there that would like to speak.
Hi, I'm Caroline McGee. I live at 543 Galway.
Yeah.
Couple of questions. Do you have a road needs study now?
That's a really good question. I think we had one done not that long ago. I'm sure we did. I mean, if I read
I
it
can't
lately,
find
no.
it anywhere, so it's
Okay.
not.
All right, it's maybe not accessible. Yeah.
You had commented about a 10-year plan,
Yeah.
so I couldn't find it anywhere on the website. And the second question is, on Galway, it was supposed to be from Queens Line to 858 to be resurfaced last year, and that wasn't done. They did from Allen's Alley to 858, but not from Queens Line. So that monies that was budgeted went back into surplus. Is that Queens Line to?
It'll still be available for that if that was on our plan, if that was a list of things that were going to be done and it didn't get done last year, that'll likely get done this year, because
Or is it
some
going to
things
be
just
put away?
couldn't. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Some things just, sometimes you run out of time, right? And we have other
Well,
things.
I
Our-
understand that.
Our roads department staff cut trees and chipped brush for half the summer, so.
I
There's a few
understand
things
that.
that didn't
I'm
get done.
just concerned that if operations is reallocating money that they shouldn't.
No, if that was on a plan, that'll happen.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
How much does it cost to do a kilometer in township? Do you have any idea?
Man, I had that in my head at one time. It'll surprise you. I
I have no idea. That's what I'm asking.
depending on what you're doing below, if you're building up the bed, then it costs a lot more, but.
Yeah.
I think it was asphalt was 147,000. No, that might have been double tar and chip, might have been 100. I don't want to say the number because I'm not sure I'm right. I think it was 147,000 for a kilometer. But I'm not sure that's correct. Which it adds up in a hurry. Like you start doing 50 kilometers in Trent Lakes every other year, it certainly adds up. And those resurfacing programs are in our budget. They're in every year. They get done. If they don't get done last year, that money's still available for this year, so that things will get done. It's just, we had a very unusual summer last summer and spring, so with an ice storm and a drought, it took a lot of resources to get through all of that. As you know, I don't want to say the wrong number, but I think we got almost $600,000 back from the ministry for costs that were incurred by the municipality for that ice storm. So, I mean, and that's, you think about everyone else that did all the work, it's millions and millions of dollars of effort by people, that homeowners, volunteers, and other companies that went out and cut trees, and well, you know them. It's expensive.
85,000.
Company, yeah, it was
what we spent on our road.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, right? So, okay, thank you. Any other questions?
I just had a question on those ladies here concerned about regarding contractors doing damage to the road. I think she said it was a short period of time and then contractors come in there because they're renovating or building a house, whatever. I know in other municipalities they do take it quite seriously. They'll actually, there will be a deposit, right? So, or maybe a $5,000 deposit or something like that, because they know there's going to create damage to the actual road. So you put the onus on the person that's building the new place to say, okay, fine, the road is in this condition, right? After you left, it's now in this condition. We will assume your $5,000 and we'll put that money into the coffers and then we can, so it's not necessarily going back into the other members of the road per se, but the person who is actually building and because, you know, they're creating, they're having, as Bob alluded to, like, you know, hundreds and hundreds of trips, right? With heavy duty tractors and heavy duty machinery, creates a lot of damage, right? We knew that when we were building our place, and we actually, you know, got a few loads just to put in our area where we created some damage, right? But that doesn't happen all the time, all the place, right? So
Honestly, what our half loads program is, that's why you have a half loads program.
Yeah.
Because the time of the year you damage your road is when the frost is coming out of the ground. So if you only have vehicles going with a half a load, you don't really do that much damage unless you have 300 vehicles driving the same track. It has a bit of damage, but that's what the half load season is on all our municipal roads, and I think it's still on right now, actually.
just an idea.
Yeah.
Just
No,
to,
that's-
you know, save you some money.
It's an interesting idea. We should look into that.
So it happens all over.
Yeah.
Most municipalities will do it, right?
Yeah.
Whether they follow up on it, like, for example, we, in our area in the GTA, they take the money. They don't, and the contractor do the damage on the road, but they don't necessarily put that money back into the road that was damaged, right?
Yeah, no, that's an interesting idea that we should research a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's just a way to
That's a good
offset the tax.
Yeah,
for-
that's a good
Trying
idea.
to make homes affordable, remember?
Well, that's what I was just gonna say, the cost of renovation now,
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's-
every little penny you add, like, it doesn't seem like there's $500 added here or there or whatever, it's tens of thousands
It's
of
thousands,
dollars.
yeah, that's,
Like, it's out of reach pretty quick.
yeah, it does. I was involved through the county, through a planning meeting at Duro Dummer. And the people have been 2 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're no closer to getting their thing done. I mean, it was a peer review of a peer review of a peer review of it was just absolutely bizarre what went on there, and people they're ready to quit. I mean, this happens here as well. I mean, planning is a difficult animal. Our planning department can't really miss stuff because you can't go back for it. So now you ask for a lot more things. Some of the bills that the provincial government passed, didn't work. They made things harder, not easier. And they're looking at that again. So let's hope some changes happen. They're relooking at the building code, the planning act, they're looking at uploading some of the stuff to a different level of government. So changes are going to be coming, and hopefully it makes it easier. The last couple of changes didn't really make it easier than they were supposed to. Eliminating red tape, well, it just created more. It created more studies. Everybody's, I don't blame planning staff for saying, okay, well, you need to do them all because we can't go back and get one later. So it's a difficult process, and let's hope we can make it more simple without compromising our environment or our waters. It's a kind of an edge of a knife we're walking. So let's hope we can make it simpler without compromising some things. That's what the provincial government here is looking at. I think right now we're transitioning into the national building code instead of the Ontario building code, and it's just been a nightmare for. Instead of simplifying stuff, they're making it more complicated, and they realize that. So there's a whole bunch of investigation going on that. They're re-looking at it at a provincial level. So hopefully that dribbles down to all of us municipalities, and we can make things a little simpler, and more affordable, because that's the whole idea. It can't cost you $250,000 to go through a planning act application and then build your affordable housing. It just doesn't work. So, and yeah, hopefully it works.
Our grandparents were pretty smart.
Yeah, Jesse, go ahead.
Still seeing
Yeah, Jesse, you got it.
Can you want to go online, they can raise their hand?
Okay, sure, my apologies. Yeah. If there's anyone online that would like to speak, please go ahead and raise your hand and we'll get to you.
Christine Berkman.
Yeah.
Christine Berkman.
Okay, sure.
Christine, I'm just gonna unmute you.
Yeah. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear us?
I can.
Perfect.
Okay,
We-
great. I
You
had
know
a,
that Kathy Lee has done a very thorough job of talking about East and West Deer Bay. So if you want to go on to some other topic, please do.
no, thank you. I actually, thank you, Kathy, for doing all of that, because that's exactly what I was going to talk to. But I did actually just want to acknowledge that we're very, very appreciative that we're finally at this point. As you know, we've been working on this for 15 plus years. So we're very hopeful that, as Terry, you just mentioned, and Evan did, that there'll be some surplus funds available for 2026. And yeah, so that's awesome. We're looking
So
forward.
it's a good start. I know this has been a long time. It's been longer than I've been on council, and I've been on council for 12 years already, so.
Right.
Thank you for your,
what's up?
thank you for keeping on and staying on it. Thank you.
And many
Go ahead.
other residents. The only other question I had was around organics. I couldn't quite hear, but is there organics now in Bob Cajun?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Okay, and is there any target date for the Crystal Lake transfer site?
It will be soon. I forget, there was some little snag that we're waiting on. I think it'll be very soon. They're being built. Yeah, I think they're being built right now, the mollusks or whatever they're using, they're being built, so. It's
Okay.
coming soon.
Like in 2026?
I hope so, yes.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Thank you. We've also been asking for that for, I think, the same amount of years.
We all have.
Well, yeah, you know, and part of that was the restriction that we had at Peterborough County.
Yeah.
We could only send 1,000 tons or 1,000 tons.
They couldn't accept it.
Yeah, they won't accept anymore, so we could collect it all, then it just went to garbage. It was, but now, there's really no restrictions. There's other ways to get rid of it. If, you know, we can do it ourselves, or it can go to Peterborough. The Peterborough City actually has a place that all of them organic, they turn it into topsoil and sell the topsoil. So there are other things. It's good.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you for hosting this meeting for us.
Well, thank you very much, Christine. And that's something that this council has been very adamant about, is if you're going to do it in one transfer station, we need to do it in all. You know, there's certain things we can't because of regulation, but let's try to get every transfer station doing the same thing. And we are very fortunate in Trent Lakes that we kept all 4 of the transfer stations, because when this transitioned into a different method, some municipalities lost a transfer station. So we were fortunate to be able to keep the 4 of them because of our staff and councils and Peterborough Council supporting the idea that we have a very huge geographic area to look after. So you can't get someone to drive from Bob Cajun or from Galway over to Burley Falls to get rid of their garbage. They're just not going to do it. So we were fortunate to be able to keep all 4. And thank you, Christine, for coming online. Is there anyone else online?
Yeah, we have Sherry Hillman. Going to unmute you.
Hello, Sherry. We'll get Sherry, and then we'll go back into the room here and make sure we don't have any questions. We're working on it. I don't like that little owl looking at me.
Sherry needs to unmute.
Okay, Sherry, can you unmute yourself, please? You're unmuted from this end, but.
Okay, there we go. Sorry.
You have
Yeah.
5 minutes left.
Okay. I first of all wanted to express my appreciation for setting up this meeting to get input from all your constituents. And particularly, I wanted to express appreciation for council's support for not extending the quarry hours that impacts everybody here at Bass Lake, the quarries on Bass Lane. So really appreciate your approachability about that and your support on that. And then I just wanted to also add Bass Lake's concerns to many of the things that have been raised by other people today. The road, for one, and we just got back from out of country and we're really pleased when we first got on the road until we got to the other side of Watson's Bridge, well, almost to the Long Lake spur, because a beautiful job had been done of graveling there, but that's all as far as it went. So hopefully the road crew will get out and do the rest of it, the other 5 kilometers, because it's almost unpassable. The potholes are just horrendous. We have so many ATVers and stuff, as you know, using the road, and that really tears it up terribly. and then plus all the rain and whatnot. But also, I really appreciate the person who raised the fireworks issues. And it has to be a total ban because the weekends that it is still allowed are the weekends when the loons are on the nests, and it has that impact on them leaving the nests. And just with climate change and the dry conditions, the possibility of fire. Last summer, we spent a week on alert, waiting for evacuation orders, watching the fires not too far from here. So yeah, really concerned about that. And we don't need fireworks. They're not necessary and could be disastrous. And I also wanted to thank Peter Raymond for raising the cooling centers issue. My husband and other friends were part of a group called Seniors for Climate Action Now, and you'll probably be hearing quite a bit from us over the next while. But one of the things we're really concerned about is cooling centers, because with the super El Nino expected, we're probably going to have a lot more really hot days, and the impact on seniors can be, fatal, really. And a lot of seniors do not have decent air conditioning in their homes and need a place. So I was really glad to hear the municipal. I wrote down all of the places that people were mentioning that are possible cooling centers, and I think maybe we can do something with getting volunteers to help staff those if that's an issue. But it's something it really needs to be looked at, I think. And also happy to hear about the organics at the transfer station. Didn't know about that, but we do our gardens and everything, so we don't really have to bring our organics in because we compost them all. But I'm wondering if you still have the green cone or whatever container program for our backyard composting organics. And we
Well,
do
there
have
is.
a recycler, so we do use that.
Well, I think they're available at the county, and I think they're available at Trent Lakes too. Correct me if I'm wrong, Don, I think they're available here, both composters and digesters. I have to tell you one quick story about that. I have 3 inches of soil on top of limestone, and they came to put a digester in, and I had to buy 2 dump truck loads of topsoil and stuff to put the compost. My poor university students come in with bang, oh, what are we gonna do? Just wait, there's 2 loads of stuff, but it was quite an interesting story. And I think Harold, you got something?
I did, yeah, thanks for that, Sherry. You said a lot of things. There was just one that I wanted to comment on, and that was the fireworks. We very specifically excluded the May long weekend as a weekend that you could use fireworks because of the loon nesting season. So again, it's all about enforcement. I understand that, but in terms of the bylaw, fireworks are not allowed during the long May weekend because of the loon nesting season.
Oh, good. I thought all long weekends they were allowed, so good to know.
Yeah, no, it's only 4 during the year, and we specifically excluded that May long weekend because of the loons. They had their say.
Yep, they did. And
Glad you're listening.
You talking about me again?
Okay, anyone in the gallery have any more comments? Go ahead.
Couple of quick, my name's Richard Lang, and I'm relatively new to Trent Lake.
Yep.
A little, 3.5 years. One of the things, and I think I might have got the answer from the first lady that spoke there, I do receive the emails from Trent Lake.
Yes.
But what I don't know is who my mayor is, who my councilor is, or the boundaries or anything.
There you go.
Like, is that on the website, I guess?
Yes, it is. That's all available on the website.
So I guess that's up to me to pursue that.
You'll have to excuse me because my tie's crooked in my picture. People call me the crooked mayor, but that's not true.
Just a comment on our transfer stations. I go to the Bob Cajun ones. And by the way, the staff there is great. I really compliment them. When I first moved here 3.5 years ago, and I sent an email but never got any response. I don't necessarily agree environmentally with them forcing to buy all this more plastic. Like, why can't I take my garbage, which I already have, in one of those bins and dump it? No, I have to buy a clear plastic bag and put it in there. And when we first moved here, now it's kind of changed for other reasons. We used to have the plastic grocery bags that we used for the kitchen garbage.
Yeah.
Oh no, we couldn't use them. We had to buy more new plastic. So we're adding plastic to the environment because of your silly rules.
Yeah.
That's just a comment.
Yeah, thank you for that. The reason we're the leaders on changing to clear plastic so that we can see that there's not recyclable in your plastic. I know.
I think that's ineffective. They don't look that close anyhow. They look at the top of the
I'll tell you though, the garbage audit that the county does says they are very effective.
Yes.
Like the recyclables in our garbage went down substantially. So people don't want, oh yeah, there's pop cans, there's beer cans. You can't put them in our garbage. So they do look generally like most of the staff that I've been involved with, which are fantastic, by the way. I'm going to all our staff, but our transfer station people are the face of our municipality. Everyone goes and sees them and talks to them. We get so many good compliments about our transfer station staff at all four of them. So thank you for bringing that up as well. More plastic, hard to, yeah, I get it.
But it's recyclable.
Yeah, it's recyclable. Yeah, I think just have one more. Oh, anybody who wants to have a comment? One online? Okay, we'll just do one online first and then.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute, Warren Dunlop.
Okay. Hey, Warren, are you there?
Yes, yeah, I was just unmuting. Thanks very much. I'd like to add my thanks. I'm Warren Dunlop with the North Pigeon Lake Association. I'd like to add my thanks to everybody else who's already thanked council for meeting with us this morning. I think in general, this council has been very good at increasing transparency with communicating with the public and the ratepayers. So I think it's been great. I just have one quick question of clarification. It was good to see Jesse's presentation on the municipal elections starting to raise awareness. And I was just wanted to clarify, I think she mentioned that staff were available to come to AGMs to explain to our members about the process. Yes. And is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. They've at the last election, I think our staff was at more of those AGMs than I was. So yes, they are available. Please reach out.
Okay, that's great. And the information will be, the information she presented will be posted soon on the website, I assume?
Absolutely. It may already be, actually.
Yeah, okay, great. Thanks, that's all I had. Just, and thanks again for meeting this morning.
Warren, thank you very much. This council tries to be very transparent. The odd email gets slipped through the cracks. I know myself, I missed the odd one, but I try very hard to respond to every one of them. And I think all of our council does. And, reach out to us, phone us, email us, come to the staff, have conversations. That's how we solve problems. And that's how we know that things are going good as well. So don't be afraid to reach out with the good comments, because I have had many, many good comments about this council and our staff. So please reach out. Thank you.
Yeah, the staff is great too. They were always pretty responsive to things. And don't worry, I missed the odd email too.
Okay, Warren, thank you very much for being online. I think Gary had a comment.
Yeah, just on behalf of our organization and all of our members and myself personally, I wanted to recognize and thank Donna Taggart for her many, many years of phenomenal, excellent benchmark customer service. Your work here in the township has been unbelievable as our CAO and treasurer. And you have pushed the boundaries of trying to get grants from everywhere. Your work has been phenomenal. It's been benchmark. We appreciate it. And I thank you for all of that and hope you the best in your retirement.
And Bianca, do we have someone else online?
Yep, Brian Davies.
Okay. Are you there, Brian?
I'm just turning on my mic. I think I'm on now.
You are on. Go ahead. You have 5 minutes to converse with council.
Well, I'll take far less than that. First, I'd like to join with everyone else in my appreciation, not only for this meeting and you giving up a Saturday morning, but also the level of communication from the municipality. I think it's really, really good. I wanted to pick up on one item that was raised, and I must admit I didn't catch it all, on the Bell installation of 5G. I think, Your Worship, you mentioned that you might invite some organization to come to council and give an update on the status within Trent Lakes. Is that organization Bell, or is that another body?
No, it'll likely be through the county of Peterborough. I think Eorn maybe was the one that would probably do the presentation, because they have all the stats for where the towers are going in, where the
yeah, it's the hard line. It's the fiber optics that I'm in, the 5G that I'm interested in.
and they have that. So.
That would be great, and I'm sure that if I can attend the council meeting, I can learn about it from your excellent communications on the website. The other point that I wanted to raise was I was delighted to hear this morning all the concerns about fire safety and fire. And I think, again, my hearing isn't as good as it used to be, I guess. I think you mentioned there was something on the website about fireproofing your properties. Did I hear that correctly?
Well, it was a presentation that we had, so I don't know if it's still available on our website or not, but I'll make sure that we do that again, because it's very important, because you can have 3 or 4 different stages of protection around your home. So
exactly, and I agree with everyone who's raised concerns about fire safety in our community. So thanks again, and well done.
Yeah, and I think Deputy Mayor Armstrong has a comment.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Lamson. Thanks, Brian. After the ice storm, our emergency department, which is our fire department, known to most of you, redesigned their website. So there's a whole section on emergency preparedness that they have posted now. So it's really easily navigable. It talks about what you can do as individuals, as well as what we will do in the event of an emergency. So encourage you to go to their site and look at that. It's very well prepared. It's, as I say, easily navigable. And it does go directly to what you can do to help you prepare.
Yeah, and that probably has that link to that explanation as what you can do to protect your own properties.
So my question on fire too, how will we know when we evacuate? That was the communication last year.
Yeah.
Because we were so close to Kindown.
Yeah.
And I finally emailed you because people were calling me and they said, we don't know what's going on. How do we know when we evacuate? And has that been changed, or how do we know if we had to evacuate? Like,
I don't know, but I think that was one of the things that came out of some of our emergency stuff is how do we prepare for that? I think the evacuation was handled by the OPP, I believe, the evacuation notice. I believe that's where it was going to be handled, but I think we're probably going to be looking into that.
So that's something we need to
make sure that we know.
Because a lot of seniors in
I don't think that's our only fire.
They don't have cell phones, and they were calling me, and it was a weekend, and so I emailed John, and then he tried to find out, and because it was a city core of the lakes, but we're right on the border, we were only 2 kilometers away from it, and it was getting scary. So we didn't know what to do. I found the communication wasn't that great.
Okay, well, we need to fix that, and Trent Lakes Fire and Rescue was very instrumental in helping City Fourth Lakes with that fire.
Right.
Had our staff
We
on
just
site.
need communication, that's all to
Okay,
work.
that's a good idea,
do.
communication, because if you don't have access to internet and things, then you may not know about it. So that's where you rely on neighbors and friends and OPP and people driving around with broadcasting it. And I think, Peter Franzen, you had a comment on that?
I just wondered if the town.
Sorry, Peter's sitting right here.
Sorry, wrong Peter. Having more digital signs across the township to help communicate things, and especially in emergencies, as well as events that are coming up. It will broaden the communications channel.
Good point. A very good point. Yeah, that's something that we can control. Thank you. Carol, go ahead.
Just wanted to say, it's a good idea, Peter. Every one of those costs $40,000 plus somebody to maintain it.
Yeah, those are interesting.
Especially when there's a crash on the 507 and people that are driving up there.
Yeah, been through a few dozen of those. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You wait a minute, you gave your 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She gave it.
Okay.
Good morning, thank you. I'm Caroline McGee's husband, and I actually live in the same house as she does. Couple of questions and one comment. First comment, for those of you who like fireworks 1 day per year, come to the Mount Canada Day celebration on July 1st. They have a fabulous fireworks demonstration. Second thing, you mentioned at the beginning, your worship, that if there's no answers available today, that it would be put on the website. And I think you mentioned the same thing last year, but I didn't see anything on the website.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did I miss it?
I think last year we were trying to get back to people. That's why you left your name out there, but I think we're just going to have a basic synopsis of what we're talking about here today on our website. I don't know if we're answering specific questions. Like, do you have a specific question that you want answered?
Well, there's a couple things, but there's a lot of questions that were asked today that I found to be really interesting. For example, what's the cost of a kilometer of Partnership Road and a kilometer of asphalt nowadays?
It's ridiculous how much it costs, but we can put that on our website so you can see that. That's not a problem. So.
Yeah, so all of that information would be just fabulous.
Yeah.
And the last thing is going back to the roads needs study and the 10-year plan. I'm wondering, is there a reconciliation that's done at the end of every year? Because you have your budgeted items that council approves, but then if there's other items added, it'd be really interesting to see that, to see where the capital program's at.
Yeah.
To see what has been completed, what is being carried over, and so that we have an understanding of what we bought that year.
Yeah, I think that does happen through because each quarter we have a report back from every department as to what they've done and what's outstanding, and that does kind of happen if you pay attention to them. They're very informative. If you don't, they're about 2 sleeps long, so they're pretty long. There's lots of information, and it's an amazing amount of information that comes to us.
Right, and does it have the add-in? So what I'm specifically referencing is a capital reconciliation. You said you were going to do this, and this, and this. Did you do this, this, and this, and this? So for instance, the Galway Road didn't get done last year.
Yeah.
But what else did you do in addition to that you said you weren't going to? That's what a reconciliation would be.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. I don't think we actually do exactly that. We just carry that over and it gets put on to next year, and the money stays in general government or some general to use next year. So, but yeah, that's a good idea. We can make sure we financially know how that's going. So I appreciate that comment.
Just
Carol,
if I can, we do a pretty fulsome budget each year, and the first one is presented in November, and there's a complete list of capital projects that we had, what we did, what we didn't, what's carried over. So I think in the budget process that we go through every year, it does a reconciliation of that. So you may miss that. Again, that's probably a 100-page.
Actually, I didn't miss it, but what I'm suggesting is that it's not telling what was done in addition to.
Yeah.
So if there's surplus funds, so for instance, Galway Road wasn't done last year.
Right.
You said you were going to do it. And are there other projects that were done? Because you're not identifying that.
Yeah, understand. You want it sort of a one-page kind of reconciliation of that.
Chip $500,000 worth of brush.
That certainly can be an add to the budget presentation. It's a good idea.
Thank you. Okay, is there anybody else online?
No, maybe if you wanted to call again for we have some folks who've already spoken with the hand up, but maybe calling again for anyone else that would like to speak.
Yeah, okay. Is there anyone else that would like to, for the first time, have a comment in the gallery, both physically or electronically?
We do have Christine Brickman with her hand up.
Okay. Go ahead, Christine. I don't think this is your first time talking, but go ahead.
Okay, just a quick question. The material on the municipal election, can you point us to where that link is, or if you could just forward it out? I'd like to share that out on our Facebook site and our website.
Thank you very much. I see nods of the heads on the back there. I think that's going to happen. Thank you very much for bringing that up. And tell all your members, please vote. I'm not asking you to vote for me. I'm just asking you to vote. Please vote. It's an important thing to do. It's it's, I think our turnout last year was a little low. So let's try to get as many people, friends, neighbors, went and vote, because it's important. Okay. Thank you, Christine. And we'll make sure that that information is available. Go ahead, Kathy. We've gone around the table, no one.
Yeah, just one comment that Evan had put in when he did a reply to Christine. And I think this was before
Yes.
we were considered that Blacktop was even going to.
Yep.
He got back to her and he said, and this is about regular maintenance, like I need a plan for, we're going to do so many grades in a season but anyway, his reply, or how I understand it is, we only maintain 2 conditions and the resources that are permitted. So.
Not sure what that means either.
Well,
we do own a grader that's almost $500,000, so he's out a lot.
But I don't know if he means the budget, like once we get to spending, like for the resources, I'm thinking he's thinking the budget. So if we run out of money, you're not getting the grader in, or you're going to get even lower class.
No, I think the grader has to go. There's certain conditions our roads have to be in, and some of them are not right now. We've had a horrible winter and a very moist spring, and it really it deteriorated a lot of our roads very badly. Like there's a lot of roads need regrading multiple times because they just don't have the material to, if you're going to grade a road to get rid of a pothole, you got to grade below the pothole. So you need to go down 4 or 5 inches and then start and work your way back up. So.
But our problem was last November.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It was left right to the very end of November. That was the first grade.
There was many of them.
And this is what we did. And then we had a
awful winter and
well,
spring.
I just mean an awful try to rectify it here 2 weeks ago, and they made a mess.
Yeah.
And they put in rocks.
Okay, well, we will make sure that comes to Evan's attention.
Well, and they just seem to run by the seat of their pants, or whoever complains, and then they think that they have to come, maybe they think they have to come the next day, depending on who. But without looking forward to the weather and wasting.
Yeah, well, we understand that certain things have to be done when they can. Thank you. Okay, any other questions in the gallery? Go ahead.
Can I ask my fire department question now?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Do you know if it's gonna be a manned fire hall, the new fire hall that's being built, or is it still gonna be run on a volunteer?
I think it'll be volunteer. I think we have 5 permanent staff and they will likely be here still. But it'll be volunteer. I mean, we have some fantastic volunteers. They get the calls fast. They meet call.
I know some of them are great. I was just wondering if they're planning on.
At this time, I don't imagine there's gonna be any full-time staff because it's expensive, right? We need to have some, let's get it built first. It's, it started out being 3 or 4 million. Now it's 8 million, 9 million. So
it's looking impressive.
It's getting there. I haven't drove down since they started putting the steel up, but I've been by there many times in the winter time. One on a stormy, windy day that was like, you could hardly see across the lot. There's people working. It's just, they were very diligent.
It'll be the same process, but in a nice building. I don't know if you ever tried to go in one of the bays.
The old one?
The old one, where you tried to get around the fire truck, you literally had to open the bay door, walk around to the other side of the truck.
It was
just.
And we walk by
quite unsafe.
Yeah.
And honestly, that building is in worse shape than you think. Like there was engineers that said it has to be replaced, so. And it is. We've been a few years getting to it, but we've got there. Terry, you had a question?
Morning. Thanks again for your time. My name's Layla Brett and I'm Jason's better half. With all the general concern around wildfire risk with the upcoming summer, I wonder if it warrants information night, like an emergency preparedness information night that maybe the fire department could host.
Yeah.
I'm sure their website's great. I'm not sure if anything like this.
Their website is great, and yeah, I mean that's
a great idea.
Great idea. I mean, our one staff member goes around to every place and, looks after our community. And, yeah, it's a great idea. We could have a kind of emergency services day. We've had that a couple times here where we have police, fire, ambulance, hydro came. There was, it was, and I think we're trying to plan one of those actually at the Cavendish Community Center. It's in its infancy right now. So it was at one of the community policing meetings and that was discussed. So it was kind of nice.
I know they had one in Kinmount recently,
Yeah.
last year too, and I couldn't make, but it's just the fire department, how we, with wildfires and stuff.
Yeah, this is a little more broad based. I mean, it was kind of neat at that one. We cut a car apart in front of people. So everyone can see how much work is involved with cutting a car apart. If you were trapped in a car and you need to be extricated, we showed you how we do it. Cut off doors and cut off roofs.
On Layla's comment, probably the worst fire for township was Fort McMurray, Alberta. Pretty dry area, right? They learned from that. And what they did now when Jasper was on fire is they basically put a whole bunch of poles up with farm grade sprinklers that do 60 meters, kind of like you see in a potato field area here, right? Set it and forget it. So like in our fire that we had here last year, obviously the resources can only work for X number of hours. Then they take a rest here. So it kind of makes a fire break on any natural road, right? So you don't have to be on a pole, but in Fort McMurray's area, they went all the way up and down the highway, put these poles there. They put a high volume pipe down there, put it in a pond and pump it, leave it. All they have to do is fill up the pump.
Yeah.
And then you have a natural fire break. So for example, if it was on the road going up to Kinmount, you'd make that your natural fire break. You go, you drive 5 minutes any direction, you're gonna find a pond or a beaver dam somewhere, right? So we have water on our behalf. It can be done. It's been done in Fort McMurray, even though that it's hard to find that information. But Fort McMurray didn't say, we're not taking it, we're not doing any second chances here.
I did actually read a little bit about that. That's a great idea. We need to have some fire breaks because most of the time the wind's from the west. So you have to think about where the fire is gonna head for. Thank you. Good point. Excellent.
It's 12.
Is it 12?
Yeah, hard stop.
Good. Hard stop. Like the way you're thinking. Is there any other questions before we have to run away? I like it. Yes.
I forgot about my husband.
Oh, yes.
Signs.
Signs, yes. We'll get some signs up. Don't you worry.
The historical one.
Yeah, I've not forgotten about that.
Okay.
Remember Don and I have talked about that a couple of times when we do have surplus from other budgets. Instead of just putting the surplus in the general, we're gonna maybe spend a little bit of it on some historical signs.
Nice job.
Yeah.
That was very important.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. It's.
Person in our.
Absolutely, yeah.
That was very into that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's important.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you everyone for attending. Appreciate your comments.